Greetings, brilliant, warm greetings to you, my friends. Tiffany Carole here, and I am joined by an esteemed fellow colleague and somebody who I consider a dear mentor, Lorie Dechar. I'm going to share a little bit with you about her, but before that, there's one little step I have to do to go live on Instagram. One extra button, which I just pushed. Okay. Now, there's a lot that I could say about Lorie. She has a very rich biography as she's an incredibly accomplished human. But this is a little short bio that I'm going to read because I think it captures a good portion of her essence as I experience her. Lorie Eve Dechar is a poetic scholar, teacher, author, artist, and alchemical acupuncturist. She has over 40 years of clinical practice, teaching, and mentoring experience. Her unique contribution to the profession is firmly established at the cross-cultural intersection of Taoist, alchemical, and Jungian depth psychology. She's also the author of Five Spirits, Kigo, I hope I'm saying that right, and The Alchemy of Inner Work. The Five Spirits was a book actually that really helped me to sort of find my legs as a practitioner when I was an early clinician, and that was my introduction to Lorie. And so it's a great honor really to be sitting here with her and with everybody who's joining in right now.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tiffany. What an honor to sit with you and an honor to be in this medicine together, coming in at the dimension that we are choosing to enter in at, which is really the soul and spirit dimension of our medicine. And I'm so grateful to be sharing this space with you in this conversation and with all of those who are joining in to listen with us.
So for those joining in, what you're getting yourself into here, let me tell you a little bit about that. So in this time, which will be probably around 30 minutes, Lorie and I are going to speak about windows of the sky, points. I'm sorry, my video seems to be glitching a little bit, but I think the audio is clear. Windows of the sky acupuncture points as vortices on the body. And then we're going to speak about one point in particular, which I'm not going to name yet. We'll let it be a mystery until we do. And we're going to combine with that point the essential oil of Roman chamomile. So for any oil lovers who are here, if you have Roman chamomile, grab it now. You can also do this later after our time together. So let's go.
Well, what a blessing, Tiffany, to be with Roman chamomile at this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere, here where I am on the coast of Maine. And it's around us. It's blooming now, and the aroma feels so resonant with this abundance of earth, which really is the season where I am currently. And it's perfection with opening windows. So just before we go into the mystery point, which I've been sitting with all morning here, just to say a few words. When you invited me, Tiffany, into the conversation of windows, as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, windows, yes. But, so much of the time when we learn about these points, for those of you who learned in acupuncture school or you're familiar, it's certainly the TCM approaches. These are points on the neck, upper arms, for neck pain, shoulder pain. There's this limited focus on the infinite realm that these points can bring us into. When I learned about windows from my own first teacher, Professor J.R. Worsley, he said, these are points that balance and reconnect. And in the classics, they talk about all the windows as points that deal with what we can call rebellious, chaotic chi. So chi that's going in the wrong direction, especially rising up into the head. So we know right away that the windows are about, okay, how do I connect head, body, heaven, earth? How do I connect these domains within me? And I've been working with them, and I have the sense, Tiffany, as you've been working with them, I've come to understand them even beyond that as really windows, openings, conduits that invite us out of the enclosures that we may be stuck in. In the case here of a consciousness structure, of modernity, of mental rationalism that's no longer serving us as answering the really difficult dilemmas and problems of our time. We need to open the windows. So all the windows we speak of this in these 9 months together will be in some way related to that. I want to just open to you, Tiffany, your journey with windows in general. What called you to this? You know?
So when this was even before I started Chinese medicine school, I was reading a book by Grisham. I forget her first name, but anyways, I was reading the book and she talked about starting Chinese medicine school, and which she didn't finish, but she said that she realized the reason why she was meant to go into Chinese medicine study was because she needed to learn about the windows of the sky points. And she ended up taking her life in a different direction that had to do with other things. But she said that these points were highly significant in relationship to the evolution of consciousness. I'm paraphrasing, but when I read that, and I wasn't in Chinese medicine school. I didn't even know I was going to study Chinese medicine, and all of the hairs on my body stood up, and I just knew the truth of what I was reading, and I knew the significance of these points, even though I had no idea what they were, where they were, what it was going to mean to me that I was going to study Chinese medicine even. And then when I studied in a TCM school, they warned about windows of the sky points, and the warning was like, don't ever needle these before somebody is ready. There's also the anatomical warnings. You know, they're in very delicate areas in the head, in the neck, the head, the chest, upper chest. And so I think it sort of steered me away from using them very frequently, at least with needling. And it wasn't until I started working with oils on points, developing the technique that I teach, aroma point therapy, where it just felt far more safe, and it felt more interesting, and I felt such an attraction to partnering the vibration of a plant with the opening of that of those individual points. And so I started to experiment. Now, what I want to touch on here, connected to now, is that, and you already started to weave this in, that it's really about opening the windows out of the conditioned boxes that we find ourselves in. But I want to add one more thing to that. Is because the windows of the sky, especially when they are paired with plant elders, they do it in such a unique way, because it makes it a full embodied vibrational experience of opening. It's not just the sort of upper edge of the mental body reaching for a new understanding. It's the whole nervous system sensing its way into a new way of being. And this is why I'm so freaking excited about Windows of the Sky at this time, with you,
I
with others that
love
are called
what
the
you're
plants.
saying there. Because what I got as you were speaking is so beautiful. It's so integral. It's resonant with the integral quality that we are looking to erupt this year, which is, it's not that the window's out there. When we open these points, I become a window. I become that opening. it's not, I love what you said. It's not that I'm looking, although that in itself is a wonderful metaphor. Like I'm in this room and I suddenly realize there's this vast world. And in fact, I have an image on my
Mm.
Instagram right now, an ancient alchemical image at Lorie Dechar of a person almost like going to the edge of the dimension of the world and coming out and seeing I am in this universe, this vastness. And I love that the inside now and the outside are not separate. So I am also becoming that conduit to the vastness. I am the window.
Wow.
We are the window. We are. And I feel that so
Mm.
much, Tiffany,
Mm.
in the, we found our way into the resonance through virtual Instagram, missing each other, trying to catch up. And then it clicked.
Mm.
And it's like, I feel that the field is this resonance of opening.
Mm.
And we really are we are holding, or I would say, in service of that field. And everyone who joins us in this 9-month exploration will become part of an initiatory emergence. That's really
Mm.
what the windows are inviting us to.
An initiatory emergence into
Becoming.
a becoming a qualitative embodiment of ourselves as windows, as doorways, not only between heaven and earth, but as portalways, almost like ourselves birthing ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. I feel that so much. And it's so, because it's necessary on the planet right now, it is necessary that we step into this work. It's happening. It's happening. It's Zhang Shen. It's a mutual arising of us stepping towards it and the cosmos stepping towards us and
Mm.
saying, open now.
Mm. Open.
This is the time. Blossom into this.
There's, before we go into the mystery point, there's something too that I want to add. Um, it's this, words. You and I right now, and through the beginning of starting our journey with coming to this moment together, we have been actually experiencing and modeling the movement of the opening of the windows. There's a kind of transparency, a depth, a light, an anchoring in the human form. There is a sense of no separation while also having an increasing experience of higher level
Yes.
discernment. And
Yes. It's beautiful.
as a
Yes.
phenomenological unfolding. And so to even say that we are modeling the opening of the windows, that's one way of saying it, but it's also just like it's happening. This is a transmission of it happening now in
And
very real
as we're
time.
talking, like what's rushing through me is Gebser, and Gebser, Jean Gebser was one of the original explorers of consciousness. We'll get into that, when we go further down into the conversation over the year. But one of the words that's used to describe the new kind of awareness that you and I, as you say, are modeling, are co-inhabiting, is the word diaphaneity, a transparency,
Mm.
so that matter is no longer like solid and rigid stuff. It's vibratory, just sort of interference patterns in an infinite ocean of vibration. And as you were speaking, and I'm thinking of how we needed to work a little bit. You're in Sri Lanka. I'm on Down East Maine. It's like, how did we? And I'm thinking, oh, windows also have, there's a glass that you need to actually make diaphanous because, glass is actually a liquid that we think it's solid, but it's an amorphous liquid of molecules. It's not really solid at all. So that's what I'm feeling is even as we approach the points with the oils and the needles, to remember that we are entering through a kind of diaphanous vibratory channel into the infinite.
Oh, that is so cool. So shall we unveil?
So yes. So when we said, well, let's do a point on our like first little live stream, and we're like, what should we do? And I'm like, oh, it's Earth season here in Maine. Let's do stomach 9. People, welcome, because it's perfect as a point to welcome in others into the conversation, and it's so timely. And also, what I've gotten as I've been sitting with the point since we decided to work with it is that this is the point that opens us to a new hope for humanity. It's like we are welcoming humanity through this point, people into this new possibility of resonance.
Did you already put your fingers where the point is? I
Well,
might have
I'm
missed
going to
it when I
do
was
it
looking.
now.
Okay.
Yes. So for everyone, why don't we all kind of co-experience the point together? So we go to that laryngeal prominence, which is the high point of the neck that they call the Adam's apple. For some of us, it's the Eve's apple, which that little high point, and then you move out from there, and you're going to find the point between the cartilage. Don't dig in too deep there, but just gentle. Outside the high point, there's some cartilage, and then you're going to feel a pulse. And you're going to go in between the cartilage and the pulse. And if you're in there, you may already feel a kind of movement of chi. Now, again, remember these points are about, on one level, the rebellious chi that's going up. If you go and just be gentle, you may begin to feel how the chi settles, earth's grounds. And Tiffany, I want to share that when we decided to do this point, I remembered, of course, it came back to me. This was the first point I ever needled.
Oh,
in
wow.
Leamington Spa when I was training with J.R. Worsley. I had my patient was an older, very respectable English gentleman who was having vertigo and imbalance. And I can still even remember the earth fragrance. Literally, it was like a kind of flower petals, leather shoe, kind of wet leather shoe of this earthy fragrance out of balance. And then JR told me I was going to needle people welcome as my first point. And when I tell you that I went in the room to needle that point, I was so anxious. But JR stood behind me and he actually supported me in needling.
Wow.
And I remember seeing the chi move through like a kind of a flush coming into this man's face as we needled it. Yeah. So people welcome Ren Ying. Ren, people Ying, welcome, and the characters of a seal, a monarch seal, like we are welcoming you into this very special place, which is our humanity.
How would
welcoming
you?
you to the earth and to that groundedness of really bringing spirit and soul in and in harmony with earth. Yeah, what do you, what's coming to you with that?
I was what do you like if you riffed on, I don't, it may be that you've already said this, but is there something when I ask you this question that comes that's the timeliness of this beyond that it's earth season, but the timeliness of the and significance of this point in these times right now?
Yeah. Well, I first of all, as you started to speak about with the windows, but particularly stomach 9, there's a support for the authentic voice here.
Mm,
And one very specific part of this point is its capacity to allow us to say an authentic no,
mm,
discernment, and an authentic yes.
mm,
Yes, a yes to the world and a yes to the possibilities that are in front of us.
mm,
That's what I feel in terms of the larger picture, the bigger sort of scope of our conversation, Tiffany. This is the point that says, welcome to our humanity
mm-hmm,
and what the real true potential of being human is. So
that.
much more than we've been told we are.
Yes. Yes. Wow, I really feel that. I want to add here, just in case we have mentioned it a few times about this bigger journey with us in the windows of the sky, but in case anybody watching now or later is wondering what that is, I'm going to pop, depending on where you are watching this, I think you will see that link come up on Facebook and YouTube. Hi, Sarah. Oh, I just saw some comments in there. Um, there'll also be that link included in the show notes. So do open up the link and check out what we're referring to as the longer journey with us, because it's
We're
significant.
giving birth to something big.
It's significant.
This isn't just going to be any ordinary 9 months.
No.
we
And and also to name too that, and I'm going to speak about Roman chamomile next, because that's the plant elder that the invitation is there to place that oil on this point. But if there's anything in you that's like 9 months, that feels like a long time. I think in today's world when things move so fast, but this isn't a cumbersome, content heavy kind of, you need to consume this content and check things off in order to be a good student. It's the answering of a call first and foremost. You'll either receive the call or not, answer it, and you will already be impacted just by the answering of it. And the field itself will provide so much to your life, so much richness, so much texture, so much support that's not normal in our day-to-day life. So I wanted to read a little piece out of Roman chamomile, because that's the oil that really came through to place on this point, and this is out of my book, The Inner Nature of Essential Oils. I call Roman chamomile, by the way, the nourishing protector. And Roman chamomile, one of the extraordinary aspects of its inner nature is the way that it guides consciousness into a fluid movement between the masculine and the feminine, and how the masculine provides nourishment and how the feminine provides nourishment, and the direct relationship between protection and nourishment, which also has a nice resonance with the no and the yes, which I have a little poem that I'm going to read at the end, and I wove that part in, the no and the yes. Okay, so Roman chamomile carries the memory of a time when nourishment and protection were together as one breath, one heartbeat, one sacred act. It restores our lost inheritance of wholeness, where the masculine and feminine dance together in trust, each strengthening the other. Under Roman camomile's golden blessing, we are called back to the original garden within, a place where grief softens into wisdom, emptiness becomes fertile ground, and the sun of our own heart rises again. In this way, we do not merely survive the seasons of life, we flourish, radiant and rooted, nourished and protected from the inside out.
Mm. Beautiful. Thank you, Tiffany. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
And I love this reminder that part of the healing that we are so engaged in right now is this repair of the marriage.
Beautifully said. Repair of the marriage. Okay. And are you okay if I read the poem now and we'll close out?
Yes.
So.
Yes. I mean, not that I want to close out.
I don't.
We could just have that.
We could just keep going.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again and again.
And I want to invite people watching to just relax and receive and follow the prompting to check out Windows of the Sky. And if you aren't familiar with Lorie's work, please, her handle for Instagram is there, and you can also check her out on your website is A New Possibility, Lorie?
Got it. A newpossibility.com. Everything we're talking about.
Okay. Stomach 9, at the threshold of the throat. There is a pulse here. You can find it with your own 2 fingers, right where the neck opens itself to the world, right where the blood runs closest to the surface of you, close enough to be counted, close enough to be trusted. This is not a passive gate. This is a protected opening, the place where inside meets outside, and something in the body has always known how to hold both at once, how to be tender and still keep its shape, how to welcome without disappearing. Roman chamomile has never simply soothed. She nourishes and protects in the very same breath, sun-facing flower, guardian of the soil bed, both at once, both true. And what she brings to this threshold is not just be open, and it is not just be safe, but the older, harder one knowing that these were never 2 different instructions. Welcome, at its root, was never an undefended act. The ones who welcomed well were the ones who could still say no. We are living inside a threshold time, and it's not one door, but a long corridor of them. Voices sequestered for generations are finding the frequency of their own throats. And what I am witnessing again and again across so many lives at once is not simply a flood of openness. It is something more exact, a relearning and a reimagining of discerning welcome. People are not simply growing louder, they are growing clearer, able to feel pulse by pulse who and what deserves entry, and to offer that entry as an act of sovereign generosity. This is the pilgrimage Windows of the Sky was built for. It's not a map laid over your life, nor a myth borrowed and worn like a costume, but the slow, faithful work of recognizing your own life as the myth it already is. Each gate, a place that you have already been standing, each threshold, a door your own pulse has been knocking on since before you had language for it. To welcome this way is to finally, or to welcome this way is to arrive, finally, at your own story, and to let it in. And in that same breath, to let it out again, offered to the world as medicine only you could carry. This is the pulse doing the oldest work, not one way, not a one-way gate, but a heartbeat, receiving, releasing, receiving, releasing, the ultimate act of service, disguised as something as simple as a welcome. Oh, okay.
Beautiful,
Thank you, Lorie.
Tiffany. Thank you. That's exquisite. Exquisite.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
such
you.
a joy and an honor to be exploring these points together with you and
likewise
the other visionaries out there, so many, opening these doors.
Thank you, Lorie. Thank you. Thank you for saying yes.
Thank you for inviting. Thank you for welcoming me.
Yes. Oh, yes. And a big welcome to everyone watching, listening in. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. All right, I'm ending the stream.
Continued.
To be continued. Oh, yes, we have two more live
continued.
streams coming, and those are scheduled. You can see them on my YouTube, and we'll also be sharing as they're coming up on social media. Okay. Lorie, stay on for just